Good morning, I was about to say good afternoon, but good morning. I am Donna, once again here with Aging Advantage, and we are coming today with another talk this morning. And again, the ARPA talks, which we get financial funding so that we can actually provide these educational classes to our community that we serve. Through the local grants and the donations, we offer programs to help with effects of COVID and other post-pandemic situations like housing and food insecurity or isolation. Through its partnership, we provide educational topics that can help promote self-care and resilience. Today's speaker is going to be Dana Wallace, and she will be sharing a little bit about self-care and social isolation. And welcome, Dana. When she is all done, we'll be back so we can discuss. So, if you have questions at any time, you can jump in, put them in the chat. We can reach out to Dana. If not, then we'll just wait to the end. But Dana, welcome, and here you go.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. How are you? My name is Dana, and I work with St. Louis County Department of Public Health. And I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of this presentation. But today, I'm actually here to talk about self care and social isolation. And so we'll go ahead and get started. Got a few slides to look at. And if you want to jot some notes down, I've got a couple of questions that'll pop up, and they can be some questions that you might want to ask yourself at the end of the presentation or during the presentation or at some point. So, what is social isolation? I'm going to actually read you a definition that comes from the National Institutes of Health. And social isolation is when a person does not have relationships or contact with others and has little to no social support. So, basically, meaning you don't have places where you can go and meet with other people or talk with people on the phone. You just kind of staying to yourself, basically. And so, I'm going to give you another definition on loneliness. So, we're going to look at that. And it says loneliness is the feeling of being alone, disconnected, or not close to others. So a lot of times they say that loneliness and isolation are closely related. The difference is that social isolation is more of a situation, and loneliness is more of a feeling. And it is known that about 1 in 3 people identify themselves as being lonely, and 1 in 4 people identify themselves as being socially disconnected. So, I give an example of a person can live alone, be alone all the time, and not feel lonely or socially isolated. But a person can be in a room full of people and feel lonely. So it just kind of depends on what the situation is and how you feel. So I've got a couple of true and false questions that I've kind of thrown in here. The first one is older adults are at higher risk for social isolation. Do you think that's true or do you think that's false? The answer is true. And one of the reasons why is it's more common actually in adults, usually 65 years of age or older. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit. So I'm going to go to one more question. So is a risk for social isolation? So we know that older adults are at risk, but anybody of any age can actually be at risk for social isolation. So I'm going to go through some of the reasons why. And I've got a couple of pictures up here too, so they'll kind of relate to what I'm going to talk about here. So maybe a person living with a chronic disease, older adults, if you live alone, you may be at higher risk. If you're starting a new job, a lot of times we get on the job and we don't know other people around us and we're trying to make new friends or not actually friends, but make new coworkers and meet them and we might feel socially isolated then. If we have loss of mobility where we just can't get around like we used to, maybe we need a cane or a wheelchair or some other apparatus to help us get around. If we're starting a new school, and we're going to see some of that with our younger children. I was reading where some kids that have experienced some form of trauma, sometimes they kind of withdraw from family and friends. And I've got the tornado sitting up here because we've got a lot of people that are um, currently displaced because of the tornado, or maybe the kids have to go to a new school because of the tornado. So we're going to see a little bit of social isolation connected to that. Sometimes if you recently retired, I hear a lot of people like, what am I going to do now that I'm retired? They're sitting at home and um, they're not having that social connection that they used to have where they meet other people at work. So that can be something that comes up as well. Loss of a loved one. If you lost a family, a friend, maybe somebody that you were socially connected to, maybe that was your only social connection. That can become a, a sense of grief for that person, and sometimes they become socially isolated. Living with depression. Maybe you are facing a divorce. Things that can happen with divorces is maybe you were connected to that your spouse's friends, and now all of a sudden those friends have gone to, they no longer come around, so you have a social isolation with that as well. Experience some type of trauma. I kind of mentioned the trauma for the kids, but trauma for adults as well. If you're displaced and maybe you've lived next to a neighbor that you would talk to every now and then, or maybe routinely every day. Maybe you've been displaced from that person or displaced from your community because of the tornado. Maybe you're no longer able to go to the grocery store where you knew friendly faces there. So that's something to think about. Uh-oh, what did I just do? Let me go back. Let's go back. Okay. That scared me for a minute, but we're back where I'm back on track here. Okay, lack of transportation can be another reason for social isolation. I'm actually experiencing that myself today. I'm having some car trouble. So lack of transportation can keep you where you need to go to make a social connection. So I'm definitely aware of that. Um, Caregivers. A lot of times as a caregiver, sometimes we can't get out to do things that maybe you're invited to a wedding or you're invited to a party. You maybe need to get out to the grocery store. Sometimes you can't always do those things being a caregiver because you're taking care of someone else. And we'll go into a little bit about how you might need a break with self-care as a caregiver. And maybe you've moved to a new location, whether that new location is in the same city, maybe to move to a different state. Some people are moving to different countries. So moving to a new location may make you socially isolated as well. So social isolation can increase a person's chance for heart disease or stroke. Do you think that's true or do you think that is false? What do you think? The answer to that
Okay.
is true. Did you have a question?
No, I was going to answer and say yes.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely can. Um, and I lost my train of thought there. It kind of puts people at higher risk for heart disease and stroke. Um, just a lot of different things. So it does do that. So the health risk of social isolation. Social isolation significantly increases a person's risk for premature death from all causes. It's a risk that's compared to smoking, obesity, and physical activity actually being a higher rate at that. Social isolation is also associated with a 50% increase of dementia. Poor social relationships are also increases your chance for heart disease and increased risk for stroke. And I've also read where people tend to have more emergency room visits because of social isolation as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. So, what is self care? I'm going to give you another definition from the National Institutes of Health. Self care means taking the time to do the things that help you live well and improve both your physical and mental health. And there are a lot of things we can do to help do that. And I'm going to go to this next slide. So, taking care of your health means, coming in contact with making social connections. You want to eat healthy. You want to be active. Get the proper amount of sleep. You need some time to relax. And you also want to engage in hobbies. And it's important that when you see your doctor, if you're feeling socially isolated, or where you're not having any opportunities to visit other people or talk to other people on the phone, if you are feeling lonely, that's something that you want to bring up to your doctor. Just let them know, well, maybe I've just experienced, I'm going through a divorce, or I was a person that had some damage done with the tornado and I had to leave my home. If they're not aware of what things are going on, they can't help you. So if you let them know what's going on, or maybe you don't, maybe it's because you don't have the food that you want to have in the house. A lot of times they can have different resources that they can offer you that can help you, just make better health decisions and help your health as well. So should you I just answered the question, didn't I? I said, should you talk to your doctor about feeling isolated or lonely? And yes, you should. And I just kind of gave you the reasons why there. So I want to go back. I think I want to go back just one more time here. Or we go for okay, well, let me go back. I want to go back. If it'll let me go back. So taking care of your health as well is you know, they find that sometimes people that live don't have social isolation, that don't have those social connections, a lot of times they're not eating healthy. So sometimes they're not making they're not making medical appointments. They're doing some comfort eating. They're skipping meals. They're not getting enough fruits and vegetables and all those things. They're not getting enough sleep, or they're sleeping too much. They're just not doing the things that they need to do to take care of their self care. So I just wanted to bring that up before I forgot to say that. So I'm gonna move on here a little bit. Oh, and I got one more thing here. I have one more question. I said that you can write some questions down. So we've got these fruits and vegetables here. We've got all kinds of things here on the picture, if you can see it. We've got some yellow bananas. We've got some orange carrots. We've got a lot of different green things. I've seen green peppers, green cucumbers. I see some red peppers. I see some eggplant, found it in the purple family. So they say eat a variety of foods. So if you can, have you tried any of these? And is there anything that you like to try? So just kind of take a second or two when you have some free time to look at different fruits and vegetables, or when you're in the store, and try something new that you've never tried. And we're gonna go on to our next slide here. And like I said, we already answered that. So making social connections, they recommend that you volunteer, go to a church, join a club, whatever you do, you want to do it with other people, so you get that interaction. And social ties provide emotional support and a sense of belonging. And group activities keep the mind active, and it helps maintain serotonin, which is a brain chemical associated with mood. So they've got the picture of the people bowling, pictures of people eating together, working out in the garden. So all those things can help as well. So some people like to play cards. Some people like to go out to eat. There's just a lot of different things, and there are opportunities to travel. Some people take short one-day trips on the bus, or you might take a trip to the museum. And we have a lot of museums here in St. Louis that you can visit and see other people as well. So first thing we'll talk about, all these things really help with your self-care. And the one thing is eating healthy. Uh, Eating healthy with my plate. I know years ago that they used to have the food pyramid, but now they've gone to the plate. And with my plate and meal, I'm going to give you break down some of the things that you need when you eat off of my plate. So in mealtime, half of your plate should be made up of fruits and vegetables. And fruits and vegetables are also good snacks. They're low in calories, they're high in nutrients. And you want to make half of your plate whole grains. And when we say whole grains, we're talking about the things that have not had the bran and the germ removed. So that would be something like brown rice. It could be uh, the spaghetti. I've lost my train of thought here. But like whole grain spaghetti, so those whole grain bread. So the things that would be things that have not been used, have been processed. That would be things like your white rice. That would be just like the white bread. All those things have been processed, and they're not as healthy. So they recommend that you get things that are your whole grain. So make half of that your whole grain. And then you also want to have some protein foods, and that includes things like seafood, meat, poultry, and eggs. Maybe somebody is a vegan, or they may do things like beans, peas, and lentils. And nuts and seeds are also considered, and soy products are also considered part of the protein group. And then the dairy group is you can see is a smaller portion of your meal, and that would include milk, yogurt, cheese, lactose-free milk, fortified soy milk, and yogurt. And they talk about plant-based foods because plant-based foods can be very healthy. They help reduce some of the risks for cancer. They beat the signs of aging. They help improve your memory, helps promote heart health, and they're also good for your immune system. Now, if somebody's a diabetic, this plate would actually look a little different for them as well. The difference would be that they recommend that half of your plate should be non-starchy vegetables. So that would be things like broccoli and cauliflower. Now, then you also would have a fourth of your plate would be protein, but the next fourth of your plate is going to be carbohydrates. So that would be like your fruits or your grains, because those are the carbohydrates are the things that raises your blood sugar levels. So just kind of keep that in mind. Instead of having fruits and vegetables, you would just have strictly all vegetables, and that one section where the grains are will become carbohydrates, and that would be your fruits and your grains together, because those are, again, are things that can raise your blood sugar. So things like rice and potatoes, pasta, and fruits would be any type of fruit, because fruit is sweet. So all those things can raise your blood sugar levels. The next thing they recommend that you do is exercise, and they recommend like 2.5 hours of exercise each week. It's known that more than 60% of Americans don't get enough exercise. The National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute recommends at least 30 to 60 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity on most, or if not all, days. Daily exercise improves your physiological and your neurological functions, and you want to do some type of physical activity every day. And you want to lift weights to help build muscles and prevent osteoporosis. So, some other benefits of exercise, we're going to kind of read from a list here. Some of the long-term benefits are it helps control your weight, helps maintain healthy bones, muscles, and joints. It reduces the risk of high blood pressure and diabetes. It promotes psychological well-being. It reduces the risk of heart disease. And some of the short-term benefits are it can help people think a little bit more clearly. It helps you move better. It helps you manage your stress, improve your mood. It gives you an energy boost. And there are a lot of different ways to get involved with exercise. You can join a gym. There are a lot of virtual options out there right now. If you don't want to join a gym, if you have access to YouTube, you can pull up exercises on YouTube. They have everything on there. They have yoga, tai chi, aerobic exercises that help get that heart rate going. They have just a numerous amount of different exercises that you can try. So if you don't want to join a gym, another way to get exercise is just walking. Walking is a great form of exercise. It's one of the best forms that you can get. Helps build up those your heart rate as you do that. You can walk, or if you're going in your wheelchair, if you want to use if you don't have electric wheelchair and you're using your hands, all those things can be very beneficial as you get out and move around. So just keep the you want to get there are three main types of exercise. You want to get the aerobics in, you want to help build your muscles, and you also want to uh, improve your balance. So improving balance will be things like lifting your foot with one leg, um, or balancing with your weights a little bit. And the weights also help build up your muscle tone. And then the when you do the aerobic exercises, it helps build up your heart rate. So but all those things together can be very helpful to help prevent falls as well. Next thing we want to do is sleep. And so I always kind of the question that you want to ask, if you can write down, is do you have a sleep routine? So the six healthy habits for older adults, and a lot of this pertains to all ages as well. But older adults need about 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. And getting a good night's sleep supports physical health, mental health, and overall well-being to improve your sleep. And some of those things that you can do are develop a regular sleep schedule and bedtime routine. Uh, so that one thing they recommend, like if you go to bed at, say you go to bed at 10 or 11 during the week, continue to do that on the weekend. Sometimes we want to stay up later on the weekend because it's the weekend, or maybe we want to sleep later. Maybe we get up every day at 7 or 8 or even 10. Um, but on the weekend we want to sleep later, so we want to sleep in till noon. It's best to just kind of keep on that routine so that your body gets the proper amount of rest. You want to avoid napping late in the afternoon or evening, because a lot of times that will keep you up, where you're not able to get the sleep that you want to get. They also recommend that you avoid electronic screens such as cell phones, TV, and TVs in the bedroom. It's better to, if you need to do some type of activity, they recommend maybe reading. It's been proven that those screens, whether it's on the cell phone, the TV, they mess with your eyes, and it kind of tricks you where you're not really ready to go to bed. So basically, try to avoid the screens. They recommend that you keep your bedroom quiet and at a comfortable temperature. You want, if you decide, if when you do exercise, exercise at regular times each day and not within 3 hours of your bedtime. Again, that may keep you up as well. And avoid alcohol, caffeine, and large meals late in the day. If anybody has trouble sleeping, where they're maybe they have some knee problems, or because of the joints, because of the on their elbows, because of arthritis or something, they recommend that you can put a towel there. And they also sell some pillows if you want to invest in something like that. But you can just use a towel, roll it up, and put it between your knees, and that will help you get some rest as well. Um, and if you have something that's just really bothering you, um, and it's keeping you woke where you can't sleep because it's just on your mind, they recommend you just write it down. Kind of get a journal, write it down, put it aside for the rest of the day, and move on. Try to get some sleep, and then pick it back up the next day. And now the next thing is brain health. We want to keep our brains healthy as well as part of self care, and that refers to how well your brain functions. Um, the first thing is motor function, and that controls your movements and your balance, how you grip things, how you walk, how you stand. Um, you want to, kind of like I said, practice standing on one leg. You want to walk. You want to exercise. You want to do things to keep your motor function going. Your sensory function, that includes your seeing, hearing, tasting, and smelling. If you're having trouble with your sight, try to get glasses if you can. Um, Sometimes people don't want to, get put those glasses on just yet, or you might just need some reading glasses to be able to read things that you need to read. Hearing, uh, there's a lot of things you can invest in. You can get a hearing aid. They have specialized phones that you can use. Tasting and smelling. Sometimes those things change because of medication that we're taking as we get older. Things change as well. So that's something that you want to mention to your doctor, that you're having a change in your taste and your smell. Tactile functions, those are things like you're responding to feelings, the sensation of touch, pressure, pain, temperature. If you're not able to feel certain things, you want to let your physician know that that's something that you're feeling. As a diabetic, they recommend that you check your feet, every day to make sure that you don't see any sores or anything. But sometimes we lose feeling in our feet, so we want to make sure that especially if you have diabetes, to let your physician know that you're not having any feeling in your feet. And it's just important to feel and respond to different things as far as sensations of touch. That can come through massage. Some people like to garden, feeling the different things that you feel in the garden, whether it's your vegetables, the dirt. All those things are good. That helps with your tactile function. We talk about cognitive health. That's the ability to think, learn, and remember different things. And they want you to keep your mind active, and that would be things like working on a puzzle, learning something new. And I'm gonna discuss that a little bit more in just a little bit. And then emotional function and just interpreting and responding to emotions, whether it's happy, sad, depression, anxiety. Just kind of be aware of where your emotions are, and if you need to support to talk to someone about those emotions. And next thing is, write down, do you have a hobby? Take up a hobby, whether it's gardening, photography, cooking, sewing, puzzles, reading, traveling. Hobbies are enjoyable pursuits outside of one's regular occupation. Know that people with hobbies are healthier and recover better from illness. We should continue to learn new skills and actively engage our minds our whole lives. It's never too late to learn. Um, I was just talking to someone that I know that lives in another state, And she was saying that every year they have to take she like she drives, and they have to take a driving test every year to make sure that they can be safe on the road. And she just turned 89 and called, and she was studying for her exam because she has to go and take the written exam and the driver's test. So, have to keep those skills up. So just kind of keep whatever you want to do, keep trying. So, how to stay connected? Stay connected with family and friends through video chats, email, social media, calling a friend or a family member, eating a meal together. You cannot get out. If you can't get out, have them bring food to you and you can eat together. Or if you're in, maybe somebody's in California and you're here in Missouri, you can eat a meal together over Zoom. There's so many different options now where you can have food delivered. You could probably maybe eat the same meal, but I don't know if they would taste the same, but you could eat the same meal in different parts of the country. And just make time to connect with someone every day. Whether it's I see I have a picture of a pet here. Whether if you're connecting with the pets are good for social interaction as well. So let's see here. Saying no. I kind of talked about when you're a caregiver, sometimes you can't always get out to do things, or maybe people have you involved where you're doing things for other people. You never take time to do things for yourself. So that it's important to learn how to say no. It's okay to say no. You want to make time for yourself. You want to take time off without feeling guilty. It's okay to set boundaries on what you can and cannot do. You want to make sure that you're doing something that you want to do, and just kind of decide what needs to get done and what can wait, and learn ways to say no to new tasks. If you start feeling like you're taking on too much, try to appreciate what you've done and accomplished at the end of the day. You might want to write it down. Oh, I got this done. And it might just be one thing, but you got it done. So it's okay to say no. So we're going to set goals on how you can connect with others. So I've got a list of different things here that you can do to connect with other people, and I'm gonna go through those real quick. Uh, Schedule a time to connect with family and friends. I know some people that connect with people once a month or once a year. Maybe it's on New Year's Day that they connect with a family or a friend. You can take a class. There's so many ways to take classes now. You can take virtual classes. Uh, this is considered a class here. So there are a lot of different ways that you can do a class. Go in person to take a class. You can exchange recipes. A recipe exchange is a good way to connect with other people. You can call or text a friend, join a club or a support group, and a lot of those things can be done virtually as well. If you can't get out the house, you can do that virtually. You can take a tour. You Again, you can get out the house. Go. We have so many museums here. You can go to the arts. You can go to the art museum, the history museum. There are so many things we have an opportunity here to do in St. Louis that you can't do in other places. And our museums are free. Where if you go to other parts of the country, you may pay $20 or more to get into a museum. You can also take a tour virtually. There are a lot of places you can even tour a national park virtually. So just if you want to take a tour, just type in where you would like to take a tour and see what comes up and try that. Sending out birthday cards. And maybe you'll get a birthday card in return. That's a good way to make a social connection. Again, I mentioned caring for a pet. They keep you busy as well. Whether you're getting out walking, you might see other people at the dog park, or while you walk your dog on the block. Going to a health fair. I see so many people at health fairs. They come and they get answers to their questions. They learn about different resources, and there may be something there that may be very beneficial to you that can help you make a social connection. Join a virtual online group. There are a lot of groups for all kinds of things online. I see people that are knitting online, crocheting online, people that dance online, people that hula hoop online. So basically, anything you want to do, you can find a group that will do that. Do something that makes you happy. Take a fitness class. Learn or relearn how to play a musical instrument. I recently I did it last year, and I need to pick that back up again. I actually took a virtual piano class. through the community college. They offer virtual piano classes, virtual guitar classes. So there are a lot of things that you can do virtually and through their continuing education programs. Journaling, just writing things down, uh, kind of helps keep you connected to maybe what went on during the day. Make plans for big events. If you know that if maybe you have some mobility issues and there's something that's really big coming up that you want to do, whether it's a family reunion or whether it's a wedding, kind of make plans how you can get that done. So so you're not waiting to the last minute. Try to think about how you can arrange transportation, whatever you need to do that, and volunteer. And this is something that I actually kind of learned. As I was preparing for for this presentation, there are a lot of options to volunteer from home. I did not realize that. So you can contact places like the American Red Cross, the United Way, or if you just Google or search volunteer options at home, there are different things you can do at home that can help agencies if you can't get out to do that. So I'm about almost wrapping it up a little bit. Reaching out, there are a lot of different support groups out there, and a lot of times those are groups of people that are maybe going through the same things that you're going through, and they can be a good line of support for you. Sometimes we need to seek professional help to talk to someone. Reach out to do that. Connecting with family or friends or your community. There are a lot of community centers there that out here that you can visit, or community groups if you want to get out. Or there's, like I said, again, there's options online to do that. If a person is feeling a threat of self harm or suicidal, they do have crisis lines, and 988 suicide is the universal number that you can use right now for that as well. Reach out and talk to somebody. Let someone know that what you're going through, and they can help you through that. So a lot of this information that I talked about, I got through the National Institutes of Health. I'm going to find the phone number for you. Um, you can uh, go through them through their website. You can just type in nih.gov and that will send you there. And they do have free literature. If you don't have access to a computer like that, I do have the number. And the number is 1-866 615-6464, and they have some of the best literature that I have ever that I really like, that is free. So if you're interested in any of those aging topics, if you're interested in any things on Alzheimer's, they have things on exercise, nutrition. They just have a lot of different on grieving. They have so many different forms of literature that you can read that is very helpful. And the reason I did put this up here is because we really want you to get your information from a reliable source. I would not want to go to my page because I don't know enough about everything uh, to give people advice. And there are so many people trying to give advice, and they may be given the wrong advice. So make sure you go to a source that can help you. So, like American Heart Association, they're a good source for heart information. CDC, Communicable Disease Control, they have a a plethora of topics. They have all kinds of topics through there. So just make sure you go into a reliable source. American Cancer Society. But I would, like I said, I wouldn't go to Dana's page because I don't know enough about anything like that. So again, just go to a reliable source. And if you're seeking health care, we have three health centers. Like I said, I work for St. Louis County Department of Public Health. I work in our Department of Health Promotion and Public Health Research. But we have three health centers. And at some point in my career with the county, I've worked at all three health centers. John C. Murphy is at Airport Road. It's near the intersection of Airport Road and Hanley, and it's not too far from the airport. Our North Central Community Health Center is between Highway 70 and Natural Bridge on Jennings Station Road. It's not too far from Skate King Skating Rink. And South County Health Center is near the intersection of Lindbergh and Gravois. And it is not too far from Grants Farm. So these are all the locations that we have. And if you need health care, support, we have WIC offices there. You can pick up your birth certificates and death certificates at our John C. Murphy location. If you need shots to travel, those are things that you can do at our sites as well. So just keep our sites in mind. And these are some of the things that I referenced through the presentation today that are different sites that you can go to. And again, my name is Dana Giboney-Wallace. I'm a health education coordinator with St. Louis County Department of Health. And thank you. I will go ahead and put my information back here. If you have any, if you would like to get some literature, if I have some of that, I can mail it to your home. So feel free to email me or give me a call, and I can get something to you. So that's it for me for today, Donna.
Well, I appreciate that, Dana. Thank you so much.
Oh,
That
wait,
was
let me say one
awesome.
more thing. I forgot one more
Sure,
thing that I
sure,
wanted to do.
sure. Not a problem.
Meditation is also a good form of self care. If there are a lot of different things that you can Google on YouTube and use as a meditation as well. They have short ones that might be 5 minutes, or they have something that might be longer. So just keep that in mind as well. So I didn't mean to cut you off. Thank you, Donna.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. Because speaking with that, you were saying to go online, and a lot of our community or clients that we service are seniors, and a
Yes,
lot of them are not tech savvy. Do you
right.
have another way that you would recommend that they could, or just give maybe a couple suggestions on what you
Just
just
to
spoke
like
of?
to not be socially isolated,
No, no, no.
or
The last part. My mind went blank, Dana.
for like
Would you just
like meditation or something like that.
meditation? Gosh, yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
I don't know. I don't know if any resources I can look into
Offhand.
that, and I can get back to you and and see what I can find out.
Okay, okay.
But like I
So
said, I do have
nothing
the
just
phone
comes to mind. I'm just trying to think of something that may just, if anything, popped in your mind when it
Right.
comes
So like I
to
said, like
meditation.
NIH, you can get information from them. That now they do
Okay.
have a lot of different exercises. Like if you can't get online and to to do the actual exercises,
Hmm.
they have, if you dial that number, the 1-866 number that I gave,
Okay.
the one
Okay.
eight six 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 one five 6464. They
Okay.
do have a lot of different literature that they send out. And I'm
Oh,
sure if I
okay.
look through some of that literature, there may be something on meditation in that literature. I'll have to look, or I can
Okay.
actually look
Okay.
for a resource to see if I can find one that will mail something out like that. But they have
Okay.
some really nice books that break down different types of nutrition, things that you can do. It might have a few recipes in some of the books, so they have
Wow.
it's a lot of good information. So just give them a call.
That's
You can call them
awesome.
and tell them what you're interested in, and they
Okay.
can get that get those things to you. And again,
Oh,
like I
that's
said,
very
if
neat.
you call me as well,
Okay.
I do have some things on meditation. After speaking of that, that they could read that I could probably send out as well. So that
Okay.
would be a source. I could mail that to them.
Okay, okay. So great
And
then. They have your information here at the bottom. Also, you can always reach out to Agent Advantage and we'll put you in contact with Dana or get the information and get it over to you, whichever one, works best. But most definitely we'll make sure that you get it because a lot of our, again, seniors, our area that we service is St. Louis City. But because of the storm, we do have a lot of clients that have been displaced and they
Mhm.
are in St. Louis County now, different
Right, right,
areas. So that is great. And I'm so glad that you mentioned the different facilities, health centers that you guys have,
right,
because
right.
I'm I'm sure a lot of people need to know that now that they are not in their homes or and it's taken time for their home to be, rebuilt or reestablished, they need to know where can I go still to get, the same type of health or some type of health um benefits or help when it comes to their health, being able to still see a doctor or see somebody when they have different issues or something that may arise for them. So thankful for that, Dana, for you putting that up there.
Oh, yeah,
That
you're
was
welcome. You're
great.
welcome.
That was really
Okay.
good. Also, just briefly, I just wanted to kind of say something, I guess, comment when you said virtual piano classes you had taken. I'm
Yes.
like, I never even thought of that. So how was that? Was that kind of strange or anything, or it worked out
It
real well?
it worked, it actually worked out really well.
Really?
There's a book, they have you purchase a book,
Okay.
for just like school. And so I had
Okay.
to purchase a book through their bookstore, and or and I think they even mentioned it was cheaper on Amazon, so I may have gotten it on Amazon.
Okay.
But the book came to my home, and
That's
you
cool.
you log in just like this, and the teacher does demonstrations, and then she may put everybody on mute while you're practicing and whatever you're doing.
Oh,
People,
wow.
some people had like electric keyboards, people had computers. It's just so. And if I just going through that continuing education, just not even the piano. There's so many different things now that you can do from home.
Virtual.
Because of everything thing kind of changed after COVID. So
Right, right. So thankful to COVID, even though it was a very trying time, but
right.
it actually ended up getting some kind of benefits out of it. It sounds like, especially like the program that we are offering now and being able to do these classes. That's a great benefit that came out of COVID. It's a lot of good things, even though that was a very, very challenging, rough time for us all. Um, I'm very grateful that we were able to still find our way through, because of the isolation that people suffered, or from food or housing, whatever the situation was. As we can see, it's always something that's coming up in life. Like the storm, we wasn't expecting just back in May, and it really changed a lot of people's lives, and a lot of people that even surround that area. It impacted us one way or another, because if we didn't know somebody personally that lived in the area, it's still like our community, because we're still kind of, even though I don't live in per se St. Louis city or county, but still I'm from St. Louis County. I'm still consider, if I go out of town or something, somebody say, where you from? St. Louis. I
That's
don't
right.
say St.
Right.
Charles. I
Right.
may say it afterwards, but I'll be like, well, it's outside of St. Louis, but it's still like the place that everybody can identify. You'll say St. Louis, and so
Right.
it's I mean, just like you say, driving through there sometimes, the streets are blocked because they're working on something, or a tree or something else fell, something is going on, and so you have to reroute. It's affecting a lot of us, a lot more than people can realize and think. So again, Dana, we do appreciate all this hard work and effort that you are doing on a daily basis, and even more so for coming on here sharing with us today, because there was some really, really good, great information
Oh, well,
for
thank you.
our yes, for our community. And I mean, even though we do seniors, we also do those with a disability 18 through 59, and I'm sure they can benefit from this great information as well. I know I took a couple of nuggets for myself.
Okay.
When you're talking
That's
about the
good.
health, yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, I can use that. Thank you, Dana. You didn't hear, but I'm like, thank you, Dana.
Right, right. Yeah, but if somebody
Yes.
wants to give me a call, I can get some information out to them. I wasn't even thinking when you said like the meditation, because I do have a few things to talk about
That's okay. Okay.
meditation. I can mail that to them as well. So
Okay. Sounds
okay.
good. Well,
And
they
and,
have
and
your
I
information.
always want to say one more thing. I am part of I do some things with St. Luke's Hospital where we
Okay.
do some self-management classes. This is kind of like a little bit of spin-off from self, but they're like a whole 6 weeks. So I shouldn't say a
Oh,
whole
okay.
6 weeks, but there are 6 week classes that are maybe 2 hours a day, not 2 hours a
Okay.
day, but 2 hours once a week. And we
Okay.
do things on chronic pain, we do things on diabetes, chronic illness.
Oh,
So if you're
wow.
interested in that, let me know.
Okay.
And they do have options. We don't do it particularly right now, but if somebody does not have a computer, there are options where they can do it over the phone. And I could
Okay.
probably find somebody that I could look into that to find out how they could access that as well if somebody was
Okay.
interested in that.
Well,
Okay.
great. Thank you again.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
A plethora of information. So
Okay.
we should all be healthy after this. Look.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But I can tell I can give people information. It's kind of hard. It's hard. So I'm
I
working on my
know.
self care as well.
I know, I know. It's always a challenge for most of us anyway. And that's the thing about it. As long as we work towards it, I think that's the most important thing, because we didn't get to our place in life overnight. So we won't, get to the new place that we're trying to get to overnight either. So it takes time, but we have to work towards it, and taking a hold of this information like yourself that you're giving us, and we have to implement it. So don't just put it off to the side and just look at it as being, oh, all right, actually take it in consideration and look at that food plate and make sure half your plate is vegetables, and the other half you split up between your carbs and your meat, So
Right.
yeah, I agree with everything you said. It was really good, very interesting, and very helpful. Again,
Okay.
thank you, Dana's Giboney-Wallace, Aging Advantage, and we will be back again. I'm not sure when our next class is, but hopefully soon. And we hope to see you guys soon. So take care. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks.